Welcome. I'm Todd Raffel with Eightfold, word eightfold.ai. If you want to look us up online, I'm here with Lisa Sterling. She's a CHRO. And Lisa is the CHRO, Chief Human Resources Officer and Chief Administrative Officer at a company called EverCommerce, which is in Minneapolis. If you know her name, if you're in the talent world, you may know her from Mercer, where she was a partner, or Ultimate Software, Connexa, Ceridian, and other places. Now at EverCommerce, and we're talking about her transition. She was in the product sales world at some of those companies, building products and building sales teams, and transitioned into talent, managing people, not products and things. And what's that transition like? What did you learn from that?
Yeah, well, first of all, there's something to be said about a person stepping into a role that they don't necessarily have what I would consider tried and true experience in, right? Like I spent the majority of my career selling to, consulting with, and building product for CHROs, but never actually spent a day in my entire career in HR. Actually, if you ask a lot of people that know me, they will tell you I spend most of my time avoiding HR because a lot of what HR was previously was not something that I really myself associated with. And so it's a hard transition for people. I think when you don't come with the experience and the history and the background, people immediately judge if you're going to be able to do the job. And, I give a lot of credit to my former CEO, David Ossip at Ceridian, who took a chance on me and gave me the opportunity to step into this role. But there were a lot of folks along the way that weren't quite sure if somebody coming out of the business was actually the right person. I truly believe somebody in the business is absolutely the right person to lead the people operations or people experience or HR team, whatever you want to call it, because you need to know how the business runs. You need to know who your customers are, what product, service, solution you sell, how the company makes money. That's what really makes an effective people leader, because your people strategy has to be part of your business strategy. And you have to know how the two kind of collide and work harmoniously together.
And you need to know how to measure and what not to measure and what not to focus too much on. Is that right? Yes. So you might pay someone $5,000, $10,000 more, and their value is $100,000 more, and you're caught up in the $5,000. Is that right? Talk to me about the measurements that are working and not working.
Yeah, you bring up a really valid point. We, as an HR profession, we've been taught that you really should measure the efficiency and effectiveness of the people, the programs, the systems, the processes, et cetera. And I'm not suggesting that those things aren't important. There's a place for them. But really, as this role and as this function has kind of evolved and pivoted over the past couple of years, there's far more focus on value creation, right? So I joke all the time, like when people tell me, oh, well, our organization has reduced our time to fill from 61 days to 51 days. My response is you should be really, really frustrated that it takes your organization 51 days to hire a person, not congratulations for reducing that by 10 days. My second follow-up to that is, what does that tell you? Like, why does that matter? What more matters or matters more to organizations really is like, what is the cost of the vacancy? If you can articulate what it's costing the business in lost revenue, in customer retention challenges, and customer satisfaction by having a job open, that is far more impactful to the board, to your executive stakeholders, to your shareholders. They don't care how long it takes to fill a job. They care what's happening to the organization financially and operationally when that job's not getting filled. And so it's a mindset shift. There are obviously metrics that are important, but you really need to put the emphasis on the things that tie back to the financial and operational performance of the organization, not what ties back to the HR team.
And cost of vacancy is what? I imagine it depends on the job, but it could be what you were not able to sell because there was no salesperson, or maybe customer service. Your customers got frustrated because there weren't enough people on the line, or the people weren't trained. They couldn't give the customer answers. That kind of thing is like the cost of vacancy. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. And, you think about an organization like ours. So EverCommerce, we are a technology organization that is really focused on powering the service economy for the SMB market. A large portion of our employees are developers, right? Like they're building the technology that our customers are ultimately leveraging to, be successful in their organizations. And so when we don't have developers in the roles that we are recruiting for, there's significant lost revenue opportunity because they're building the technology that we're ultimately selling to our clients that are, leveraging them to drive their own revenue. So there's lots of different ways to look at it, but yeah, it's lost revenue, it's lost customer retention, it's customer engagement. All those things get factored into how you base that calculation.
You have these roles open. One thing that you've talked about before, and by the way, hat tip to a company called LeapGen, because they noticed that I was sort of match made by them because I have a mutual interest in this topic that I'm about to talk about with you. And so thanks for the matchmaking on that. And that is learnability and potential. You have these roles open. It's hard to find someone with that experience. You believe companies need to be much more often hiring people for potential, for people who can learn. You haven't done A yet, but you can do it. You haven't done B yet, but you have all the capability to learn that based on your past, your history, experience, and skills you do have. Is there any example of that? You've seen that actually happen, maybe at your companies or other?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think, as I used myself as an example earlier, like if David hadn't taken a chance on me, I joined Ceridian as a product leader and then became the chief people officer. Eric here at EverCommerce, our CEO, Eric Remmer, he took a leap of faith. I didn't have a long tenure in HR, but he wasn't looking for a traditional HR person. But I've also seen people that have moved from marketing into product development. Like we've had people that have gone out of the marketing organization and moved into product strategy. And it's been an incredibly successful transition because there's a go-to-market strategy and mindset that you have to build on how you're going to go influence and market to customers. Those are the same types of behaviors and potentiality that you need in order to build and influence the direction of a product that other people are going to go leverage and buy. I've seen it in the financial world too, where we've had people move out of like an FP&A role into a customer success role because they understand the importance of customers and what the lost opportunity is when a customer leaves the organization. And there's that customer acumen that come with both, right? Some's internal, some's external. So there's lots of examples. And I think this is a place where if I can give any advice to talent acquisition teams and people teams in general is like, stop trying to fit people into job descriptions. Look at what people bring to the table organically, holistically. Look at their emotional intelligence, their learning agility, their customer acumen. Hire people for that and build roles around them. You will see your role count go down significantly and the quality of your talent and performance of your organization increase significantly.
Brilliantly said. On that, I can't top that. I'm Todd Rafael, again, with eightfold.ai. And this is Lisa Sterling. She's a CHRO and Chief Administrative Officer also at a company called EverCommerce. Thanks.
Thank you.